Were it truly intended to be a historical, then to comply with the mandate of the last half of the 19th century, MHRB would have to remove the paving in the streets, which was not there prior to the 1800s. Modern septic systems would be replaced with privies, electricity would be removed, motorized vehicles would be prohibited, and so forth. It appears to me that MHRB is and has been to maintain the facade of a historic skyline which is attractive for tourists while allowing more modern transportation facilities. Recently, MHRB has been reaching into things other than maintaining historic structures, resisting federally mandated or court-ordered ADA public safety improvements, interfering with the maintenance of streets and sidewalks, and operational procedures. I guess my time's up. I can give you a copy of my comments if you want them.
Thank you. Next speaker, Martin Simpson, followed by Tom Kravis.
Good afternoon. This is not about the McCallum House Inn. It's not about Noah Shepard, Jet Airs, Lee Edmondson, although sometimes I think he thinks it is, or even Martin Simpson. This is how to protect a very important California historical resource. That's my view. This so-called apple shed. You have received a copy of my report on the building, documenting its history. I consulted with 2 California architectural historians, and neither has seen anything like this building. There is no other building like it anywhere. Toward that end, you have to accept the premise that a building in use is healthier than a building that isn't in use. This building hasn't been occupied, as far as I know, for at least 5 years. Some have said, why not use the north entrance? I agree with that. And I would prefer the McCallum House to use the entrance and leave the south facade alone. But we can't compel them to use the building, as has been demonstrated over the last 5 years. From a business perspective, I also understand the desirability of having a street-facing access through an already existing door to attract a potential tenant. Some have suggested that when the new foundation was added, the building was raised, causing this access problem. If you will look at the pictures in the report showing the old photograph on the front of was turn of the century, follow the fence line from the left to the edge of the building. Now turn to the picture at the very back and follow the fence line again. You'll see that maybe the building has only been raised 5 or 6 inches. What has changed is the grade of the street. Short of changing the grade, some sort of stairs seem to be the solution. In the McCallum House's original application, as Noah had talked about, they wanted to install a 4-foot porch with a planter box that would take it out 5 foot, and a stairs leading down to the west. I thought that to be excessive and voted no on it, as a matter of fact. In a compromise, the sign, they wanted to hang a sign off it as well. In a compromise, the sign was withdrawn and a sign hanging from a post 3 feet from the building was proposed and found to be acceptable to the majority of the MHRB board. It is my belief that the current proposal that was approved by the majority of the MHR board fulfills the objective. It's a much more modest, it's only 36 inches out. It follows that brick line. It doesn't extend any more out into the existing right-of-way than anything else along that street. I'm encouraging this would encourage the McCallum House to find a suitable tenant and does not encroach on the right-of-way any more than anything that already exists, and has a minimal visual and actual impact on the building. Thank you for letting me speak. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Questions? Supervisor Colfax.
In your report, you adduced a great deal of information about the importance of maintaining a building. But in fact, we're not talking about maintaining a building here. We're talking about an addition to the building. How do you reconcile that concern about preservation as compared to expansion? Because I haven't heard anybody say that what is being discussed here has anything to do with undoing the historical character of the building, but
Right.
rather adding something that adds to the, now you're introducing commercial advantage, accessibility,
Yeah.
concepts and so forth, which are not in the report that you, in a scholarly way, presented to us. So I just find this a little bit disingenuous, perhaps, because it's inconsistent with your
Okay.
good work.
Yeah, thank you. What I'm suggesting here is that we can't compel the McCallum House to use the north entrance that already exists. I would love to be able to do that, but I don't think any of us have the power to compel them to use the building for anything. And what I'm encouraging by advocating this landing and the stairs is making it advantageous for them to find a good tenant. That's all I'm asking, is I'm just trying to get the building back in use.
Okay.
Because I believe it to be one of the most historic structures around.
Okay. Supervisor Smith, question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So what current what status of the current structure would preclude them as using the building right now?
Nothing would preclude them from using the building right now.
Okay.
I've said that, I've said I would rather have them use the north entrance and.
Well, that's my second question
Yeah.
for you. What is the basis of your preference for them to use the north entrance? You said you began your presentation by saying that would be your preference, and I'm assuming you're meaning from a historical viewpoint.
Right, I want to leave the facade alone. I would love to do that.
So that's your
But
preference?
what I'm saying is the grade has changed. When the town was paved, that grade was reduced. I mean, theoretically, you can almost say that he's restoring the original entrance.
So you said, you referenced my first question, the current status of the building, there's nothing to preclude the owners from using it? And
No, as
So
long
the
as,
grade doesn't change that?
What we have, MHRB has no jurisdiction about what you do inside a building. It's the facades that we're interested in. Mendocino is an idealized version of what a 19th century town might look like. We've taken away a lot of the chicken coops and the dust, But that's not the mandate for the town. It's to preserve the historic and unique character of Mendocino. And this building, like I said, is unique. I'm trying to find a good way to get the building back in use and keep it healthy.
so then how does that segue into your comments about the commercial nature and that this change would help in terms of the business venture?
I mean, I think it's
or-
desirable for anybody who is in business in Mendocino.
So is that
If he
part of
has a
the,
rental to have street access, and
So I'm-
it has an existing door, so